Hey Ron, I thought it would be a good idea to go over some embarrassing stories together, so hope you like it. I once walked out of a store and didn't realize a guy in the same exact me parked next to me. I think he means the same exact car as me parked next to me. I got into their car. I was like, this feels different. Then the other guy came out and got in my car. We both we both got we both got out, looked at each other, and just laughed and got in our own cars. Andy Ryan writes, I was in a park and a lady loudly called out, anyone who wants ice cream, come over here. I headed over with several others. She handed out ices to them all and asked me, who are you? I realized the rest were all her family. 30 years later, I still cringe. Johnny Keats writes, my aunt wandered into an open-air restaurant in Greece. Sat down, she had no Greek, they no English. I think he means like she didn't speak Greek and they didn't speak English. So she pointed at what others were having. They brought her wine and food. Only when she tried to pay and they refused did she realize she just crashed someone's wedding party. On holiday in Corfu, don't know what that is, some friends of ours sat at a pretty table in a shady square and ordered a couple of beers from the lady who came over to them. Later, when they tried to pay, she said, oh no, don't worry, this is my home, you're welcome. Oops. I once genuinely thought that this lady with outstretched arms was trying to give me a hug. Afraid that it was someone I knew in the past, and I went in for the hug and she said, not you, dear. And when I turned, I realized her relative was coming behind me. I fled the scene in shame. Yeah, that's always weird. Like when someone waves, like on the other side of the street, waves in your direction. You never know if it's at you because you don't recognize them. So you're like, are they waving at me? Then you look around. It's always like awkward. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. With the hug thing, it never happened, but I definitely can see it. When I would get driven home from school, I'd always wave at the crossing guard who wore a blue coat and a red hat. One day, I waved and my mom looked at me like I lost my mind. It wasn't the crossing guard, it was a mailbox with a red hat on it. I got my first pair of glasses that day. When I was 7, I was going back to school shopping for new shoes. And I saw a pair of shoes next to a box on the floor, so I tried them and walked around in them, and this girl looked at me absolutely horrified and told me to give her shoes back. What the hell? Wait. He says, he was 7. Yeah, okay. It's not too embarrassing. If it's a child, it's whatever. My grandmother in Brooklyn received a call from a young woman who said, hi, Grandma, and they had a nice chat for a while until she asked about her sister. And they realized they weren't related. My sister was making a peanut butter sandwich when she quickly needed to change my nephew's diaper. While changing the diaper, she saw some peanut butter on her arm and licked it off. It wasn't peanut butter. Ugh. The comment guy says, if you change a full diaper and continue eating, be it merely licking something off the arm, you have some issues. Yeah, I agree with that. Same, I'm pretty sure I carjacked a nice old lady one morning. Taking what I thought was my lift to work, I noticed she was extremely nervous and asked where we were headed and how to get there, etc. Thought she was new. When I got to work, I noticed the ride had been cancelled. That could have turned dangerous, actually. If imagine it was like someone armed. She could have gotten hurt. My dad and his sister were swimming in a local pool. They were doing lengths when she spotted him taking a breather at pool edge. She swam up behind him, put both hands on his bald head, and dunked him underwater. Whilst she held him there, ignoring his flailing, my actual dad swam past. Oh my god, there's this story about, was it my dad or a friend of his. He saw someone at a bar that he knew, like they were meeting up there, and he came up behind him and started humping him, and finally it was not the right person. That must have been really embarrassing for both of them. I mean, even the guy on the receiving end must be so confused. Imagine some random guy walks up behind you and humps you. What the hell? I mean, in a bar, things like that may happen, but it's weird nonetheless.